Hi guys, FrostFangs here, welcome back once again, of course, to another Paladins video. Only playing some Damba today, an all-time favourite champion of mine, which you probably already knew if you've been following the channel, but at this point, Ceres is actually higher level than him, just because she's a bit easier to play, but Damba, all-time favourite, easily. And in my opinion, he is pretty much the perfect support, or as close to that as you could really get for Paladins, and yeah, there's not really too much I would change about him. The damage playstyle is a little bit weak, it's very annoying, so I understand why it isn't as it was before. The two healer playstyles though, Spirits Chosen, Ripened Gourd, both work great at the moment, depending on sort of what you're going for with the teams and stuff. If your team's going to play together on the point, sort of grouped and stuff, Ripened Gourd goes crazy, but if you're in a more sort of normal Paladins match where it's a bit hectic, flankers going around, teams kind of separated all over the place, Spirits Chosen will end up giving you a little bit more over the game. So even though I hesitate to call him a perfect healer, perfect support, I just have such a soft spot for him because, especially before the level system and the rank system worked the way it does now, I played him a ton, and when I was tryharding, Damba was that support that I would just go to. I used to just kind of fill any role, and that was most often frontline and support, but yeah, I would realistically play anybody just like I would now, but Damba in a really good spot, have such a soft spot for him, I like him a lot, and I still don't see him very often. The builds are super standardized at this point, which I don't really like. I usually, prefer when a character's not got just one specific thing that everybody runs, but damage reduction, gourd cooldown, you pretty much always go for regardless of the playstyle, unless you're going for damage and maybe you change it. Speed, and then these sort of filler cards that are kind of nice. I do have a variation of it here without the speed and the health instead. I just want to make it very clear here that his card selection is really solid. He just has a few that are significantly above the other options, but if all of these were nerfed, for example, you'd still have quite a few you could go to and maybe more variation. Not that they should necessarily be nerfed, but yeah, possession and many gourds, they're just quite a bit above the rest, and the speed buff. If you look at them, especially compared to other characters, they're cards that you would usually put in a build, but because he's got so many good options, these just don't make the cut. Reset, like 10% a level, you've got movement speed in here, you do run the health every now and again, and then Alt Gem, which I thought would be good, but just isn't worth running over the other options. And yeah, I think that's pretty much it for the intro. I went on a little bit more than I was expecting to there, but it's been a while since the last Damba video. I might be a little bit rusty because I didn't specifically warm up for this, and Damba is always a character that after a game or two I do way better with, just because he is a bit more of a difficult character to play, which is probably why his play rate is a little bit lower. Alright, so for game one, we've got a Siege Frog Owl. Shouts to two people on our side. I think it was the Kinessa and the Inara. We've got a Zin and a Drogo. So against another Inara, a Betty, a Caspian, a Grover, and a Tiberius. A pretty even match here. Should be a good scenario for Damba, although I don't really like this map too much for him, just because you're a little bit of a slower healer when it comes to moving around, and you can easily put yourself in a bad spot with Wild Damba. But I'm just going to go for the Stand Spirits Chosen thing here, definitely with the Zin and the Drogo's Kinessa here. It makes sense instead of Ripened Gourd. We've got Yomi, Combustible, Reposition, Mother's Grace. We'll go for Kronos, Nimble to start, standard for Damba of course. Then Tigrant's Fury, got a bounce, Rampant Blooming, it's got some heft, and Mother's Grace. You do want to get Death Hands on him, depending on if you need the extra CC and stuff, but like I said, going to be a little bit rusty here for game one, just because it takes me a little minute to get ready with my boy Damba. We'll throw the gourd there for the Inara. We'll get a little jump heal if I can just land it. There we go. Jesus Christ, couldn't get the extra jump height. Through the gourd on the middle, healed the Kinessa, right click there for the Zin. If I can just do semi-decent here, honestly, I'll be happy, but it's been so long since I played Damba, in an actual video, that it's honestly kind of weird here. We'll throw the gourd over. See if we can get a right click to him as well. Nope, there we go. Definitely feel like I play kind of slow compared to when I used to play Damba back in the day, especially when it's my first game of the goddamn morning. I'm going to be a little bit cooked. There's a Q and a right click on him. We'll throw another one on her. Drogo's is just about still up. Can we get a right click to him? No, like half a second off. Goddamn, it's annoying. Tons of healing there on the Inara, just to show you the amount of goddamn output you have with this, even with just the right click with an Inara. Spamming the right click so much, but we don't have enough Chronos for it to feel super smooth, so I'm just spamming it, waiting for it to come up all the goddamn time, which you kind of hate on Damba because it feels really anti, how smooth he's meant to play. Commentary today might take a bit of a backseat. We're going to throw the ult there just to get him off a little bit. We'll right click the Zim, we'll throw the Q there. Drogo's went for the ult, nice. Seems like we're going to push in here. Drogo's did get rid of somebody. There's a right click for him. My tracking today, I need to wake up, man. Okay, we're in it, we're playing, we're doing the thing, let's go. You ready? I'm ready. To get a heal there on the Kinessa. We'll throw the Q down, tried to body block for the Zim, but that didn't work. Am I dead here? Oh, hello, Inara, you're going to push me. Okay, I guess I'm screwed. Definitely will say that when you get Chronos too nimble to it starts to feel a little bit better. Death Hands, like I said, is also kind of important if you're being pushed a lot. You do want to grab it, because getting that stun on your flanker or whatever that's trying to go after you is quite nice. Don't know exactly why it feels so much better having Chronos and Nimble too, because it's only 7 and 10%. I think it's just because you can have the gourd permanently down, nearly. I think it's still half a second off or something, but with Chronos 1, you've got a second of downtime, it feels like, between when you can actually just spam your stuff. Throw the gourd there on the point early, but she didn't even run in this time. That's fine. That's Drogo's going for the heal for the Kinessa. If I'm in the mood and I'm playing Damba, honestly, it's the character that I feel like I do the best with, other than maybe a Vatu, because sometimes when I'm playing a flank and I'm tryharding, Vatu can go kind of hard. Throw the Q and the right click there. I think the Nessa is being pushed by a Caspian or something, but she's kind of dealing with it. I'm going to retreat. My frame rate, for whatever reason in this match, is super scuffed. I don't know if you've noticed it in the video, but It's been jumping around a lot for some reason. I think it's the new frog owl that still just has issues. Did get a right click on the Kinessa there, trying to deal with this Caspian. Can we just get rid of him? Yeah, sure, there we go. We'll throw the Q over. I think she is dead because I'm not going to be able to get a heal to it. Never mind, a massive right click. F in, right click Q. You can use the F aggressively for sure because it does give you that immunity. I see a lot of people not use the F when they're about to take like 2k, and that's kind of the whole point of it. Even though it's a really lame escape compared to what a lot of other healers have in like power level, when you realize that you mitigate like entire damage and it's instant, it's actually pretty freaking strong, but I don't see a lot of people take full advantage of it unless they're playing Damba, they know exactly what they're doing, which I do see every now and again. Surprisingly, there are quite a few people out there that I get in my matches that are actually like semi-pro Dambas. It feels like I'm necessarily a very good one. I just feel pretty comfortable in him compared to other healers, and I feel like I do quite well. Definitely getting some crazy heals here on Anar. There's a right click for the Jogos. We're going to ult this Caspian just to make sure that he doesn't get rid of our two people here just chilling. We'll throw the Q up. He's already dead. Kinessa's going for the ult. Can we get the right click through him? There we go. I do kind of miss the fact that you could right click enemies at one point with a Damba build. Can't remember even probably what that was, but that was a thing at one point. But I think I just missed the variation with Damba because he is a little bit of a linear character these days, and you see him pretty much the same way over and over again. Although, you know, damage Damba you do see every now and again with the stun setup, it is still pretty samey, if you get what I mean. But that's fine, because Damba being the same as always, I kind of like, just because he's a little bit more difficult, I think, to play than some of the other healers. Even though he does play the same, he feels a little bit different depending on the match, because you do play Ripened and that changes him a bit, or you play with the right click extra heal and that changes him a bit. It does vary, but not as much as it does with a lot of other healers. And I went for the ult, Grover went for the ult. I got stunned because I didn't time the F properly, but that's fine. We'll just get the right click on the Anara. We'll throw a stun there for the Betty, which I missed. There's a right click on the Zin as he goes for the ult. We're going to F over here, just away from the Betty. I don't know really where I'm placing myself. I'm just kind of moving stupid, to be honest. There we go, though. There is the 2-2. I feel like I was doing quite good there on heals, but I wasn't really landing my stun at all, which is something I should try and do a bit better. We'll finish off Kronos, finish off Nimble. We're pretty much full effectiveness now, and all we're really changing is sort of our tankiness. I could get Death Hands. I don't know if I really need it though. I think I'm better off going for Haven and just trying to live in these fights because a lot of damage is flying around. People talking in the chat about crashes and stuff. It's Paladins, to be honest. I feel like anytime I crash, it's just random. Roll the dice, see what it lands on. That was probably the thing that made you crash at this point. We'll throw the Gourd back there for the Zim. We'll right click the Anara. I thought he was going to retreat maybe. We'll throw a right click on the Kinessa. They're actually pulling back on low health like really well. Got to give the teams props for that. Right click there for the Jogos. He's winding up the ult. I find the visibility on this map to be kind of jank. It's definitely not easy to see what's going on. I feel like the lighting on all of the ones they've remade is just a little bit scuffed. I talked about that before. I'm not going to go into it here. Getting some good heals on him here. That's one thing I do like with Dambas. You can easily sort of heal. Feels like 3 or 4 people if you're actually, you know, paying full attention, doing your sort of kit properly. We'll F back a bit. Right click there. She's going to go for the ult. I don't think that really matters to us though. Trying to get a heal for the Jogos. Is he going to make it? Nope, he died. I thought he was going to be able to glitch on the wall enough to get himself up. Put the ult over there just to give the Anara a hand so we can sort of regroup a little bit here. Right click for her. Q over. Keep it going. Feel like I'm actually going to have like at least 100k in this one. Definitely isn't that crazy with my Damba, to be honest. I could probably end up with 200k if I played better. That's an Anara ult. Okay, it's kind of hard for me to tell who's ulting. Can't really, you know, pay attention enough to see if it's hers or ours, and I really should be able to tell from the sound effects. Chord there for the Anara, right click for the Zin. I'm trying to get these right clicks, see like these little angles. The team's really paying attention to me being a Damba, which I like a lot. Feels like that doesn't happen that often in matches, but this one, these guys seem to kind of know what angles to play to get a little cheeky right click on him. Tried to get a chord for the Kinessa, it bounced weird. Right click for the Zin, but he died from the counter. We'll throw a right click on the Drogos, and I was pushing up, that's fine though. We'll throw that right click on him there. We'll throw the Q, which is kind of back a little bit, because I feel like we should try and play this little angle here. Right click Q on the Anara, Drogos ulting, Grover ulting. We'll throw that there just to guarantee it, because the Tiberius did ult. We right clicked him, he's out. Seems like we kept everybody up though for the most part, except for the Kinessa. And there we go, that is going to be the 4-2. What a game. That was actually a really good showcase for how Damba works sort of within the team, because these guys were properly playing around me. Don't know what else I could really add there. That was just a good match. There are the stats. We actually ended up with way more than I thought I had there. 185k. Didn't really play that well, to be honest, and my damage is super low because I was just fully focused on heals, but I will happily take that. Considering how jank I feel like I was playing, that is a really good stat there. Drogo shredded, Zin did great, Inara did her job, and so the Kinessa, a really good team. Just like I said, overall, them for this, I think they all did fine. Specifically, the Grover there kind of shredding on the heals and the damage, to be honest, but Caspian having a bit of a hard time. I think given the map and the teams going and trying to flank and stuff, as you can sort of see, but I was going to do a game 2, but honestly, I think I'm just going to save my energy and do more Damba videos in the future. This was sort of focused on Spirits Chosen, which has been buffed, and talking a little bit more about Damba being my perfect healer, which sounds weird, but Ripened Gourd I'll do a separate video on, and maybe even Damage Damba, despite it being in a bit of a weird spot at the moment. I like Ripened Gourd. I never see people play with it. You know, King of the Hill onslaught type matches, if you've got 2 tanks and stuff, it can do really, really well. Spirits Chosen is by far the default, as it should be, kind of, but Ripened Gourd can actually do better in some scenarios, especially with the way you just have the Gourd out all the time at the moment. To be honest, I could easily see him being nerfed a bit. Not that I really want that, because I think that would make him, you know, suffer even more in like how often he's picked compared to other supports. But in the higher end stuff and in the less casual matches, I think he does really shine. And his kit has a lot of potential, but just in the more casual matches, I think maybe he struggles a little bit to get that proper output because of the right click in the queue being a little bit more difficult to get healing with compared to just like a Ceres or Genos right click at somebody kind of, you know, in their general direction and get guaranteed heals to them. It makes sense why he's strong despite, you know, him being a bit of a more difficult healer, even though he's not that hard to play, if you get what I mean. Does that make any sense? Hopefully. I would understand is what I'm trying to say if they nerfed him despite maybe not liking it, but thank you so much for watching. Of course, leave a like if you've enjoyed. Let me know what you want to see with you next. I'll see you guys all really, really soon, and as always, stay frosty.